It'll wake you up. Good morning. My name is Steve Potts, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Tacoma, those in person to those online. Our musicians today include Terry O'Hara on piano, Benny Yangco on the clarinet. Our special guest musicians are Steve and Kristi Nebel. Our audio-visual team is Erik, Perrohe, and Ronald. Our practitioners today on the podium with me, Mona Williams, and Laura Bentel is holding high watch in the back. And today's message will be given on screen in absentee with Reverend Karen Linsley, our interim minister. If you're here today for the first time, we're glad you've chosen to visit us and would like to acknowledge you for being here if you'd like. Anybody here for the first time? Welcome. We're a friendly, handshaking, some of us hug even, meet and greet community, yet we recognize and respect that not everyone is so gregarious. If you're comfortable raising your hand so we may acknowledge you, wave hello. We already did that. I read this wrong. The Center for Spiritual Living is a peaceful, loving, and joyful spiritual community for the shared set of values, principles, and practices. We embody an understanding of our oneness with Source. We're committed to individual transformation and to being a beneficial presence on the planet. Our vision is to create a world that works for everyone. We help to empower you to bring your dreams to life. We do this a number of ways. Practicing meditation and prayer, offering a spiritual home, teaching universal spiritual principles, giving consciously, living in the present moment, engaging in a life of service, and providing a pathway to peace of mind. Our meditation and opening prayer will be Mona Williams.
Good morning. We'll start with the meditation, and this morning we're going to be I'm going to use a passage from Acts of Faith by Iyanla Vanzant. So if you'd like to close your eyes, settle your feet on the floor, knowing that you are grounded. If you're facing a challenge in your life, before asking someone else what to do, remember what you did last time. Nothing is new in life. Everything has been said or done by you. It may look different. There may be new people involved. It may even feel different, but it is not. The key is to recognize the lesson. Ask yourself, what am I to learn in this situation? Is it patience, peace, forgiveness, independence? What am I feeling now? Have I felt it before? What did I do then? Remember, no one can learn your lessons but you. And the best teacher you will ever have to experience. You are the best teacher you will ever have. And our mantra for today is, I am divinely guided at all times and know exactly what to do. So take that in and know, I am divinely guided at all times, and I know exactly what to do. what am I learning in this situation? Is it patience, peace, forgiveness, independence? What am I feeling now? Have I felt it before? What did I do then? I am divinely guided at all times and know exactly what to do. And so as we bring our attention back into the room, knowing that the Spirit of God is living in, as, and through each one of us, and that Spirit of God has the answers to all things. God is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. So when I know that I am one with God, I know that everyone within the sound of my voice is one with God. And with knowing this truth, I know that whatever issue or situation or illness comes upon me, I know that I have the answer, because God and I are one, and all things are possible through God, the very presence that lives, breathes in, as, and through me. And as I know this truth for myself, I know this truth for each person in this room, listening via Zoom, Facebook, just knowing that this is the real world, but this is God's world. So all things are possible. And I say thank you, Father, Mother God. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for your forgiveness. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding. Thank you for each person that is here in this auditorium today, each person that is listening. Our musicians, I say thank you for our musicians, our audiovisual. Thank you for the practitioners, the host, the ushers. Thank you for Reverend Karen. I say thank you for all of this and so much more. And so now I release my word into the full activity of love and law, knowing that my word will not return to me void. I let go, I let God, and I anchor this by saying, and so it is.
Just look at them fly, look at them fly. perched in a tree. They're quite at home in a storm. The birds of winter aren't worried. They know they're going to survive. The birds of winter. The birds of winter. They get by. The birds of winter 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 get by. They survive.
Thank you.
All right, I'm back again. So our reading this morning is from Creative Mind and Success by Ernest Holmes. Always be gathering. There is no reason why a person should ever stop. This does not mean that we should be miserly, trying to accumulate more and more to hold, but that our thought should be so enlarged that it can help gathering more, cannot help gathering more and more, even though, on the other hand, or with the other hand, we are ever distributing that which we gather. Indeed, the only reason for having is that we may give out that which we have. No matter what big things happens to us, we should still be expecting more and more. Even when we think that we have at last arrived, right at the moment when it seems as though life has given us all that we could stand, right here, let it be but a beginning of still greater things. No matter how large the picture that you hold in your mind, make it larger. The reason why so many people come to the point where they stop is that they come to a point where they stop growing in their minds. They come to a point where they can see no more, thinking that because they have really done a big thing, they should stop. We must watch our thoughts for signs of inactivity. Nothing in the universe ever stops. Everything is built on a boundless basis, drawn from a limitless source, come forth from the infinite sea, an unmanifest life. We speak forth into this life and draw back from it all that we first think into it. Life is always limitless, and the only thing that limits us is our inability to conceive mentally, and we should draw more and more from that limitless source. And now we'll have the minister moments. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mona.
Oh.
I'm hoping you all can hear me. I can't see you because our camera is frozen up, but I'm assuming the sound is working just fine because I can hear the folks who speak into the mic. And I'm really grateful to be here this morning and share this gratitude list with you that keeps growing and growing and growing and getting more beautiful each week. So here's a list of the gratitudes that we got last week. Folks, they're grateful for the Center for Spiritual Living-Tacoma community. They are grateful for love, both being loved and loving. They are grateful from whence we came class. Grateful for being in service. They are grateful for hope and flowers and the ability to create. and all that has made me who I am now. Someone's grateful that their cat George is back home. Someone is grateful for those who have loved me and ushered me to creativity. I can identify with this one. I am grateful for my dog who loves me unconditionally. We are grateful for green trees, earthworms, beautiful weather, lots of people at last Sunday's service, Rosalind's dream, Christina and her voice, sunshine, my daughter's return, the color green, friends bringing snacks over, being forgiven for breaking the toaster on accident. I'm grateful for a new job, someone says. Homemade zucchini bread. Grateful for two very loving pets. Grateful for CSL friends. Grateful for this gratitude practice. Isn't that a wonderful list? Keep them coming, guys. I really enjoy them and love them, and I love affirming your gratitudes for you. So, couple little bits of news. Yesterday we had our very first visioning session and 17 people showed up. It was wonderful. If you would like to join in, you can join in next week on Saturday at 10 a.m. It takes just about an hour or a little less. Our website has the Zoom link. If you register, you will receive that Zoom link automatically via email. Or you can just contact me and I'll send it to you. And our education team has been busy again, and we've got a wonderful lineup of really yummy workshops scheduled for you. Our very own practitioner, Doug Taylor, is offering a Mala workshop from 6 to 8 p.m. It's going to be hybrid. I don't have a date for that set yet, but it's going to be on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. If someone knows that that's changed and we have a definite date, let me know or let the congregation know. I'll be doing a forgiveness workshop on Saturday, April the 22nd from 10 to 1. That will be virtual only. We've got two fundraising events scheduled. No, we've got one fundraising event scheduled. This is by our very, very newly formed Abundance Creation Team. It's called Wine and Tapas and New Thought Consciousness, and it'll be held in person also on April 22nd from 6:30 to 9ish. Another workshop by Doug Taylor called, and this is the one that I think is really yummy, you guys. Here's the name: Vulnerability and Inner Resourcing for Personal Empowerment and Well-Being. It's a long name, it's a mouthful, but oh my goodness, I might have to take that one. It's being held on Sunday, April the 30th from 12:30 to 2, and it will be hybrid. You notice we've got 3 different ways to offer things to you: in person only, hybrid, or virtual. Hybrid means both in person and virtual, if you're wondering. We have a labyrinth walk at Center for Spiritual Living Tacoma on May the 6th. This will coincide with World Labyrinth Day. Sharon Sterling is organizing it, and I know she's very excited about it, and I am too. All of these events, if they're not already listed on our website, will be soon with registration links if appropriate and applicable. And I'm really excited about all the activity that's going on here at Center for Spiritual Living Tacoma. So that's it for me, and I do believe we have a song here. So I'll turn it over to the musicians.
I can see black clouds will gather. The relentless rain will fall. The fields will fill with water. I will shelter through it all. I will stand beside the river as the relentless rain comes down. I will wash away my sorrow and the dark visions that I've found. I will stand alone in a cold, relentless rain. I will stand till I feel whole. Stand till I feel warm again. I will endure relentless rain till the rain has washed me clean. The relentless rain will comfort me. I will feel free once again. Now the sun has found its way. Outside dark clouds that fill the sky. Still it's rain that I am yearning for. As evening gently nudges nigh, I will stand alone in a cold, relentless rain. I will stand till I feel whole. Stand till I feel warm again. Yes, it's rain that I am yearning for. I would go there once again. Stand out in relentless rain till I am clean as I was then. The relentless rain will find me. From my shelter I will see water running past my window, eating grasses and the trees. I will stand alone in a cold, relentless rain. I will stand till I feel whole. Stand till I feel warm again. I will stand till I feel whole. Stand till I feel warm again. Thank you.
Good morning once again, everybody. I'm back. And today I'm going to talk to you about cultivating authenticity. It's actually our topic for the whole month as part of the global themes that we participate in. By the way, those global themes Oh, all kinds of other centers across the country are using them as well. So we're not the only ones that are talking about cultivating authenticity this month. And I really love that group mind, group consciousness concept, where if all of us are talking about the same thing, guess what? It tends to grow and magnify. So this week, as part of cultivating authenticity, we get to explore the masks that we don to keep us safe, quote unquote safe, and what is needed to remove those masks. And maybe even more important, we get to explore why on earth would I want to remove my masks anyway if they're what keeps me safe. So we have a perfect example of why we would want to remove the mask. If you were here at Center for Spiritual Living-Tacoma last Sunday, you got to witness what some people might call a miracle. I call it the natural result of the inner work that all of you have been doing. But we could call it a miracle. Not only did we have a full house last week, but as a community, we experienced the vulnerability that must happen if we are to cultivate authenticity. Part of the miracle was that people felt safe being vulnerable. After the service, I received phone calls and texts and emails from people who attended the service and wanted to let me know how awesome it was and how good they felt about it. And some of them wanted to share their own vulnerabilities with me. And I was so grateful to be on the receiving end of that. That sharing led them to a new and greater level of vulnerability. And then our musician shared at group level something about her. I know that was a big time sharing of vulnerability, but I'll bet you if you spoke with her afterwards, she would have been able to tell you how much lighter she felt and how much more open she felt. That's what happens when we remove our masks and allow ourselves to be vulnerable. So look around you a little bit as you're sitting there listening to me give this talk and realize that everybody sitting around you is showing up in new and wonderful ways, new ways that allow them to have vulnerability and show up with more authenticity. Because the authenticity of this community is emerging. And as a collective group, this community has come together and is continuing to come together. That's what we're doing in the visioning process, by the way. They've come together and begun to decide who and what you wish to be. You've begun to let go of what was, and you've begun to replace that with what is and what wants to be. I've heard of so many of you experiencing personal miracles of letting go what was and beginning to live in what wants to be. And all of this is contributing to that collective miracle that is Center for Spiritual Living-Tacoma. It begins within and it moves outward. So let's continue this journey of cultivating authenticity, shall we? Because I'm here to tell you that the sky is the limit when we let go and release some of those masks we wear. What do some of those masks look like? Well, I'll give you some simple examples. We might wear clothes not because we like them, but because society says to wear them. How many of you wear black all the time because society says we should? Do you like black? I don't. I only wear it when I'm absolutely forced to. When I'm officiating a wedding, that's the only time I wear black. And every time I don those black slacks, I'm like, oh, God. It makes me cringe. They say that black is slimming. Well, why do you think you need slimming? Is it because society told you so? Because society has very definite ideas about what's slim and what is not. Have you ever considered that what society's ideas are may not be right for you? That's a real simple example of how we show up in the world sometimes not so authentically because we haven't taken the time to sit down and really look at who we are and what we want. And we hide our light under a bushel. And that's an old time biblical word for hiding our light under a basket. You know, we hide our light because we're afraid of showing up. And here's another really simple example. A few weeks back, I put some purple in my hair. I dyed some of my hair purple. I like to do that. I love having purple hair. And I get judged for it. And it's okay because I like having purple hair. And honestly, the people who judge me for having purple hair, I pray for them. I do. I really do. I pray for them. One guy once told me years ago that ministers shouldn't have purple hair. And I was like, really? Okay. And I prayed for him too. One lady commented to me that she wished she had the courage to dye her hair purple. And I suggested that she play this little game called What If? And you've heard me talk about the what if game before. I wanted to ask her, but it really wasn't, I didn't get an opportunity. But I wanted to ask her, what's the cost to your psyche, to your overall sense of well-being and your sense of self-worth by denying yourself such a simple and yet fun thing? If you refuse to shine your light, whether it's dyeing your hair purple or something bigger, what's the cost of hiding that light? How does it make you feel when you hide your light? What's the cost of continuing to wear a mask, which results in you showing up less than authentically? So if we play that what if game, we can ask ourselves, well, what if? What if I dyed my hair purple? You could ask yourself, what's the worst that could possibly happen? And in my experience, the worst that could possibly happen is that I would get harshly judged for it. And I'm like, well, whatever. The best that could happen is that I would feel like I was shining my light. So I explore those things sometimes when I ask myself, what if? What if I dropped my mask and showed up as my true authentic self, no matter what society or family is telling me? And I know what it feels like when one drops a mask and lives authentically. At first, it feels really uncomfortable and scary. It's not at first a pleasant feeling to open ourselves up to vulnerability. But when we do, we allow so much more into our lives. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we let in more of that good, yummy God stuff that is out there. It only feels uncomfortable because we spent a lifetime hiding our light. Once we stop hiding our light and let it shine, yeah, it's going to feel uncomfortable at first, but only because we're not used to it. Vulnerability is a gateway drug. It's a gateway to living authentically. It's a gateway to personal power. It's a gateway to feeling an ever greater sense of the presence of spirit within us. So in our quest to live authentically, of course, vulnerability is a necessary part of that quest. And in order to allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we must also have courage. And courage is another one of those things that, oh my goodness, might be difficult to have. David White, in his book called Consolations, has this to say about courage. And I'm quoting you this stuff because it's good to know what courage looks like for us in our lives. David White says, courage is the measure of our heartfelt participation with life, with another, with a community, a work, a future. To be courageous is not necessarily to go anywhere or do anything, except to make conscious those things we already deeply feel, and then live through the unending vulnerabilities of those consequences. So he's saying the courage is about being vulnerable no matter what. And we just walk through it. That's what he's saying. He also said this: courage is what love looks like when tested by the simple everyday necessities of being alive. So courage means we show up and we do, and we shine our light no matter what. We shine our light even if it feels unsafe. We shine our light even if it feels vulnerable or uncomfortable. We shine our light no matter what. We live in authenticity no matter what. And when we do that, we become empowered. We are at peace. We are powerful within our own selves. I've experienced that personally. You know, David White, when he says the simple everyday necessities of being alive, and I wondered about, what does he mean by that? So I began to explore that. And here's what I think he means. Every day in life, we're faced with outer decisions: what to eat, what to do, when to do it, what to wear, on and on and on. We might have a schedule to keep or not, but we all have decisions as to how to move through our day. Those are outer decisions. But we also have inner decisions. We can wake up and do our spiritual practices and set our intention for the day to live authentically no matter what happens, to wear what allows us to feel the best about ourselves no matter what happens, to be who and what we are and shine our light so bright no matter what happens. And we don't let anybody or anything cause us to retreat and hide that light. In this way, when we do our spiritual practice in the morning and we set an intention to live with authenticity and vulnerability and courage, we can live life much more successfully. And again, the alternative is to hide our light and to move through life only living part of it. We're just going through the motions sometimes. Have you ever felt like, wow, I wish I would have done that, or I wish I would have gone here, or I wish I would have done this? That's living life halfway. That's not shining our light. That's a clue that we're not living in authenticity. Living life full on, full out, and full on to authenticity is a beautiful way to live. And here's the bottom line with all this stuff, folks. Here's where the spirituality comes in. Here's where the really beautiful part of it comes in. If, as we are taught around here, excuse me, in Science of Mind, that we are each unique and individualized manifestations of spirit, just go with it. You are a godly. You are a unique and individualized manifestation of spirit. Then don't you think that you would have permission to express your uniqueness and your individuality simply by virtue of being a unique and individualized manifestation of spirit? Don't you think that that would be living completely and fully in God's will? Because think about it. Way back when, God was hanging out in the ether, energy up there, ether, just ether, energy. And it started thinking about stuff, and it realized that it was kind of boring. And so it thought some more. And God being what it is, when God thinks, stuff gets created. And it thought and it created. And it created light and dark, a glorious metaphor for life, consisting of good times and bad times. It created oceans with living ocean things in it. It created mountains with living mountain things walking and crawling around on it. It created plants and terrains and flying things and crawling things and swimming things and walking things, and it created it all because it wanted to experience the fullness of life, just like it wants to experience the fullness of life through each and every one of us. When looked at this way, we have, I call it a responsibility, but boy, it's a joyous responsibility. We have a joyous responsibility to live life full out, to shine our light completely, to live in authenticity, because that's God's will. God wants to experience everything there is possibly to experience in this life. I don't want to stifle that experience of God in my life. I want to live full on. I don't want to hide my godliness, and I don't want you to either. I want you to shine it bright. I want you to shine it bold. I want you to wear black if you love wearing black. But I also want you to wear bright colors if that's what you love. Dye your hair purple or green or blue, or put a rainbow in it if that's what you love. But make sure that you're doing it because you love it. Express yourself in truth and joy and honesty. That's how we show up authentically. I don't know about you guys, but I take showing up authentically in life seriously. And I've gotten some hints along the way and some wisdom along the way in this journey of showing up in life authentically. Some of you might remember Hunter S. Thompson. I took it seriously when he said, life should not be a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving safely in a pretty and well-preserved body, but rather to skid in broadside in a cloud of smoke, thoroughly used up, totally worn out, and loudly proclaiming, wow, what a ride. I take that seriously. I take it seriously when Ernest Holmes says things like, life is not just something to be endured. It is meant to be lived in joy, in a fullness, without limit. And I take it seriously when Holmes says this, the only thing that will release the strangulation hold we have placed on our fuller experience of the unlimited abundance of all good things is for us to wake up mentally and emotionally. And I just want to insert something here. We also need to wake up spiritually. That's the only thing that will release the strangulation that we have placed on our own experience. He goes on to say, we need to escape from our old limited patterns of thinking and from our own emotional anxieties and fears and come to know the most practical thing in the world, the most dynamic truth. God is all there is, and in God there is no limitation. And then here's the kicker. He says, to the degree that we stop limiting our thought of what God is, to that extent will we be able to enter a full experience of all that God is and can be in every aspect of our lives. So take this seriously, folks. Don't limit yourself. Step into the fullness of the godlings that you are. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. You can do that when you have that connection with God. If you must wear a mask, do so because it allows you to shine your light even greater. Like a party goer on Halloween can let loose behind a mask. But think about what you could do in your life if you were able to let loose in that way without the mask. So shine your light. Use vulnerability and courage to live authentically and open up to a new and glorious and greater good in your life. And that is my affirmation for today. I know that God is truly everywhere present and living and moving and breathing and working inside each and every one of us present here today. And I know that God is so authentic and so beautiful and so great and so powerful. And so I know this authentically and this authenticity and this beauty and this greatness and this power lives and moves and breathes through each one of us here today. I am so grateful. So grateful. And I release my words into that law that is smiling and nodding its head and saying, oh yeah, we can do this one. This is good and very good. And so it is. Thank you very, very much, everybody. And I do believe we have a song now. I hope I didn't speak up on those musicians. Go for it, you guys.
Someone referred to us yesterday as indigenous music, right, Kristi?
Yes.
I thought that was, I'm not sure that's accurate, but
I liked it. And I want to say, Reverend Karen mentioned that you all expressed what you were grateful for last week. I'm grateful that you all remembered daylight savings time.
hear the drums of thunder deep inside Enchanted Valley. I awake, see the freeway where the green stretches for miles. From the ocean there rise mountains, whose peaks are capped in splendor of snow that fell from skies and storms some 50 years ago. I hope that I'm not dreaming, for I've been to Arizona. I felt the hot sun bake me as I walked along the sand. And I love Arizona and the Colorado River. She awakes in me a longing for my home in Washington. And I know the road will call me, and I know I'll have to go. And I know whatever fate befall me, every road I travel leads on to Washington. I hope that I'm not dreaming, for I've been up to Alaska. I've stood up on her glaciers and I felt the Arctic chill. And yes, I love Alaska with her mountains and her wilderness. She awakes in me a longing for my home in Washington. I can hear the drums of thunder deep inside Enchanted Valley. I awake, see the freeway where the green stretches for miles. From the ocean there rise mountains whose peaks are capped in splendor of snow that fell from skies and storms some 50 years ago. And I know the road will call me, and I know I'll have to go, and I know whatever fate befall me, every road I travel leads home to Washington. Every road leads back to my home in Washington. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask the ushers to come forward. And please join me in saying our offertory blessing together. You'll find that in your announcements or in your program. It's up here too, isn't it? Yeah, okay, I forgot that. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all I receive. Thank you, God, and so it is.
always. I think this is one of my favorite times because Benny plays, and it's like this peace, this calm over the heart, over the soul, over the spirit is in the room. It's in me. And I know that as I know this truth, I know that each person, that the music touches their soul, touches their heart. Makes me think of, I might be in this room, but my heart is everywhere. It just allows the soul and the spirit to fly. So before I start this healing prayer, these little blue cards are in the front pocket. If you ever have a prayer request, go ahead and fill it out. And we have a new prayer box over here. Oh, sorry. I was given the blue card. But we have a prayer box in the back, on the back table here. Bev, do you want to show, or Drew? So there's our prayer box. You can go ahead and put your prayer request in there. The practitioner for the week that's on platform will take those prayer requests and pray over them. And so every week, every day, we also have a prayer line. Please call it. If you need to leave a message, and the practitioner, one of the practitioners will get back in contact with you. All right? All right. What a great day. Authenticity. What if? What if God is all there is? What if all things are possible through the very presence of God that lives, breathes in, as, and through me? So I'm knowing right here and right now that God is all there is. I need not say what if. I know the truth. And the truth is that the power and the presence of God that is living in, as, and through me is living in, as, and through each person that is within the sound of my voice. I know all I need to do is ask. Yes, the vulnerability comes up, and yes, it's a shock to the system when things are brought to the forefront, and I acknowledge that I'm feeling weak and low, but I know that there is strength in God, the presence that lives, breathes in, as, and through me, and I can walk and use that strength each step of the way. And I know that God is there to support me and to love me and to guide me as I walk this walk in authenticity and with courage. And I know that all that I need to know, that God provides me with the answers in a loving and kind manner. And I know that I am open and receptive to receiving God's loving guidance. And I say thank you, Father, Mother God. Thank you for this day. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for your love. Thank you for peace and grace. Thank you for family and friends. Thank you for each person that is here. Thank you for the musicians, for Benny, for Terry. Thank you for our host, our audio visual. Thank you for the practitioners. I say thank you, God, for life itself. And so now I release my word into the full activity of love and law, knowing that my word will not return to me void, knowing that it is done, and it is done good. And I say thank you, Father, Mother God, and I release my word and anchor it by saying, and so it is.
Is. A couple of announcements. A new member orientation is on Sunday, March 26th at 12:30. If you're curious about the Centers for Spiritual Living, we want you to know and want to know what we believe in spiritual practices we practice, come to an introduction at the Center for Spiritual Living at our center in here, Tacoma. Our practitioners, spiritual coaches, are ready and willing to help you navigate solutions to change and transitions with affirmative prayer, join them in a prayer room in the back of the room over there after the service if you have a special need. Every Thursday at 7 p.m., and this has been a really successful thing that has been started. Reverend Drew Ebersol and Laura Lee Bendel lead mindfulness meditation here at the center, and it's open to everybody. Does anybody have a birthday this week? Wants to admit it? Okay, so much for that one. Thank you for being here today. We got a couple of other ones here. Special on April 1, memorial service for our own Reverend Caroline will be on Saturday, April 1. Please be here at 1:30, and the service will start at 1, and the service will start at 1:30. And the last thing is, I know they mentioned the wine and tapas, but this is something we're going to start holding every month. And each month we'll have a specific theme to celebrate. And this month is on April 22nd, mark your calendars, at 6:30 p.m. here, probably downstairs. The cost is $20 per person. Reserved, did we put up the thing in the back of the room for the sign-up sheet today? Yes. It's back there right now. So please join us for that. And we have tickets. Yeah, there'll be tickets. I'm not sure how are they handling that. We have them. So Darlene Green has them here in the back. So thank you all for being here, and have a great day. We got coffee in the back, and please stand and have a little socialize with us. Peace song. Sorry.